Hola a todos y bienvenidos otra vez a nuestra clase de español. I know I am always happy, I'm always bubbling, right? Because I love our class and I love that you guys are so eager to learn Spanish, this wonderful language. Ahora vamos a aprender cómo se dice un horario. Antes hemos aprendido a pedir la hora. Ahora vamos a repasar la hora, pero también vamos a aprender cómo se dice un horario. So we have learned already the time. So let's go ahead and let's review the time, but now we're going to add the difference of how we tell un horario, a schedule, right? Really, really easy. So let's go ahead and let's start. So again, vamos a repasar. ¿Cuáles son unas consideraciones muy importantes para aprender la hora? So we already have seen this, that we have many different expressions, that it's different from the English, that we have different ways of substituting, and it seems like it's almost like using math. Positive ones is that you can start using your Spanish. Entonces, vamos a empezar. So let's go ahead and start. ¿Qué necesitamos saber para pedir la hora? So what is it that we need to know in order to ask the time? Really, really simple. Muy fácil. So we need to know these particular words. El verbo ser, es y son. Los artículos determinados, la, las. Y las palabras y, and, menos, minus. Los números hasta el 35, so numbers up to 35, right? So which one are the numbers up to 35? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 31, 32, 33, 34 y 35. Y después, dos palabras muy importantes, media y cuarto. Entonces vamos a aprender. Vamos a empezar aquí. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's go through every particular example for telling the time, and then we're going to go over how we tell a schedule, okay? So here we have, aquí hay tres diferentes relojes. Y cada reloj tiene un horario diferente. Okay, so let's go for the first one. The first one is 1 o'clock, right? So it says, es la una. So es, third person singular of the verbo ser, right? La, the definite article feminine singular, and then una. We don't have the power of changing the number uno into una, right? Because in Spanish, when we tell the time, we actually use the indefinite article una, right? Because it's only 1 hour. So it's an hour. It's almost like we're saying it's an hour. Es la una. Ahora vamos a ver el segundo reloj. Let's go ahead and let's see the second clock. Son las dos. So, okay, now we're already seeing a difference, right? So we have son las dos. So son, third person plural of the verbo ser. Las, the definite article, feminine, but it's plural. And then we have dos because it's 2 hours. Now, remember, the articles are in the feminine because we're representing la hora. La hora es una palabra femenina, right? So the hour, the time is a feminine word. So that's the reason why we use la and las. So now here, we're using son las because we have 2 hours and 2 is plural. Let's keep on going. Son las 6. It's 6 o'clock. So again, we're using son because it's more than 1 hour. It's almost like we're saying they are the 6 hours. It's 6 o'clock. Las because the definite article feminine plural. and 6 because we're indicating the 6th hour of the day. Es lógico? Is it logic so far? No? Okay, let's keep on going. So now here we have two other clocks. Aquí tenemos dos relojes. Pero no hay solamente la hora. Hay la hora y los minutos. But now here at the time, if you notice, we're adding the minutes. So now we're going to see this new word y, which means and. So the first one is 4:05. So again, son las 4:05, as in it's 4 hours and 5 minutes. So son, the third person for the verb, right? Las, because we already said it, we're indicating 4 hours. Y, because we're adding the minutes, and cinco, because it's 5 minutes. So son las 4:05, it's 4:05. Then we have son las 11:20, it's 11:20. So again, son because we have more than one, we have 11 hours. Y because we're adding the minutes, and 20 is representing the minutes. Ahora es lógico? Is it logic right now? No? Okay. Let's go ahead and let's look for some more. So let's go ahead and let's see some more times. So 12:30. So 12:30 because it's the third person plural. Then las because it's a definite article. 12 because it's 12 hours. Y, and then we have media. So son las 2:30. Media is another way to say 30 minutes because media means half and 30 minutes is half of an hour, right? We use media because of course it's feminine. Then we have son las 7:30. Son, again, because it's more than 1 hour. Las, because it's 7 hours. Siete, to indicate the hours. 7:30, 30 minutes. But we can also use half. If you want to say, we can say, son las 7:30 at the same time. It's still the same exact thing. ¿Es lógico? Okay, let's keep on going. So now here we have, aquí tenemos otros dos relojes. So we have another 2 clocks. So let's keep on going. So we have, es la 1:15, right? So it's 1:15. So as because it's only 1 hour, I know that we have the minutes, también hay minutos, pero si no, es siempre una hora, but it's still an hour. La, because we're indicating 1 hour, and then we have cuarto, es la 1:15. Cuarto is a quarter of an hour, 15 minutes. Then the other one instead uses son las 9:15. It uses 15 as a minute. But again, we can mix and match. For the first one, we could say es la 1:15. And for the second one, we could say son las 9:15. It's the same exact thing. Ahora vamos a ver algunos ejemplos con la palabra menos. So now we're going to see what we were talking about when we were talking about that math problem, right? So the first one says, es la 1:15, son las 3:15, son las 8:20, son las 3:10. So let's go and see each clock what time is indicating. So let's go with the first one. Es la 1:15. It is kind of saying it's 1 o'clock, but it's not yet 1 o'clock. If you notice, the big error is on the 45th minute because it's 12:45. In Spanish, we will never mention any minutes higher than 35. So we will never say it's 12:45. Son las 12:45. We will never say that. So once we reach the 35th minute, we start using the word menos. So what happens, we will mention the hour that we're trying to reach, and then we use menos, and then we will add the minutes that we're missing. So 12:45, we're missing 15 minutes until it's 1 o'clock. So es, because we're reaching the 1 o'clock. La, because it's 1 hour. Una, because that's the time. Es la 1 menos minus cuarto. So es la 1 menos cuarto. it means it's 1 o'clock minus a quarter, minus 15 minutes, 12:45. Es la 1 menos cuarto. Let's go to the next one. Son las 3 menos 15. So now here they're just using quince, just like we saw before. Instead of cuarto, they're using quince. It's the same thing, 15 minutes. So again, it's saying that it's 3 o'clock. But if you look at the arrow is on the 9, which is 45 minutes. So it's not yet 3 o'clock. So what we do, we mention the hour that we're trying to reach, which is 3 o'clock, minus the minutes to reach it. So son las 3, it's 3 o'clock, but minus 15 minutes because we're not there yet. So son las 3 menos 15. ¿Es lógico? Is it logic so far? Yes? Muy bien. Okay, let's go to the next one. Son las 8 menos 20. Again, it's 8 o'clock minus 20. But it doesn't seem here that's 8 o'clock. Why? Because it's not 8 o'clock yet, but it's 7:40. So what we do, we mention the hour we're trying to reach, in this case 8 o'clock, minus the minutes to reach it. So 20 minutes. So son las 8 menos 20. Son las 3 menos 10. Again, it's 3 minus 10. It's 2:50. So again, we're trying to mention the time that we're trying to reach, which is 3 o'clock, but it's not 3 o'clock yet because we're still missing 10 minutes. So we will say it's 3 o'clock minus 10 minutes. Son las 3 menos 10. So far, so good? Yes? Es lógico. Sí. Sí, por favor. Okay, so here we have some example. ¿Qué hora es? So what time is it? We have es la 1, son las 2, son las 3, son las 4, son las 5, son las 6, son las 7, son las 8, son las 9, son las 10, son las 11. And then we have es mediodía o es medianoche. It's noon or midnight, but you can say son las 12. And then here you can add y or menos depending on the time. Ahora vamos a aprender cómo se dice, cómo se habla de un horario. So right now we're going to see how we're going to tell a schedule. So telling a schedule is really different from the English. It's the opposite. Because in English, parece que estamos pidiendo lo mismo. It seems like we're asking the same thing because in English we will say, what time is it? And then to tell a schedule, what time is the party? But notice the Spanish. What time is it? We will ask, ¿qué hora es? To ask what time is the party, the schedule, we will say, ¿a qué hora es la fiesta? Notice the difference? ¿Cuál es la diferencia? No? Okay, so let's find out. El horario. So when telling a schedule, first and foremost, we must add AM and PM, just like we saw before, the new words. De la mañana, de la tarde, o de la noche. These are really idiomatic. If it's 9 p.m., we will say son las 9 de la noche. But if the party is at 9 p.m., we will say la fiesta es a las 9 de la noche. Notice the difference? ¿Cuál es la diferencia entre la hora y el horario? So far, anyone's noticing the difference? Sí? No? Seguimos. Let's keep on going. So, vamos a aprender cómo se dice un horario, cómo se comparte un horario. So let's go ahead and let's see how we share a schedule, right? So when we tell a schedule in Spanish, we must add AM and PM. We also must add a, which is really, really important. And remember that the verbo ser does not agree no longer whether the time is singular or plural. So we're going to see a big difference between the two. Here we have some examples of la hora versus el horario, okay? I want you to pay attention to here on this side how we are telling the time, and then here how we're telling a schedule. So if we're trying to say it is 1 p.m., we will say es la 1 de la tarde. Now remember, when we tell a time, we don't really need to use AM and PM, but I want you to start practicing it so you start to learn when to use de la tarde, de la noche, de la mañana en verano. It is 4:30 p.m. Son las 4:30 de la tarde. It is 10:50 a.m. Son las 11 menos 10 de la mañana. It is 8:15 p.m. Son las 8:15 de la noche. It is 6:55 a.m. Son las 7:05 de la mañana. Now, are you noticing here we have S because we're indicating 1 p.m. Here we have son because it's 4. Here we have son because it's 11. Here we have son because it's 8. And here we have son because it's 7. I want you to keep this in mind. So now let's go ahead and let's see how we say the schedule. So I'm going to use the same time frames, okay? So we have lunch at 1 p.m. Almorzamos a la 1 de la tarde. We have lunch, almorzamos, at, and now we have la. We have la because we actually do that action at 1 p.m. So la goes along with 1. But are you notice that we don't have the S no more? Because we have a different verb here. You know, we're saying something different. The Spanish class is at 4:30 p.m. La clase de español es a las 4:30 de la tarde. So again, really important. The Spanish class is, because we're talking only about one class, that's where we're using S. And then we have a las 4:30 de la tarde. Is it logical so far? Is it logic? Is it making sense? Okay, let's keep on going. I arrive at the university at 10:50 a.m. Llego a la universidad a las 11:10 de la mañana. Again, we have a, and then we have las 11. Las because we have 11. But again, you see there's no son because we're using a different word. We're not saying it is 10:50. We're saying something that we're doing at that time. Seguimos. Let's keep on going. I have dinner at 8:15 p.m. Ceno a las 8:15 de la noche. I'm having dinner a las 8:15 de la noche. And the last one. I wake up at 6:55 a.m. Me despierto a las 7:05 de la mañana. Again, you see here, a las 7:05. At, las, because we have 7, right? So, para resumir, remember, to express the time, we always start with es la or son las, whenever we're telling the time, right? To express what time something begins, a schedule, we will always start with a la or a las. To add the minutes, we use y. To subtract the minutes, we use menos. Instead of saying the number 30, we can use media because it's half an hour. Instead of 15, we could use cuarto. And remember the main difference between telling the time versus telling the schedule. Let's keep in mind all these new words. How to ask the time. ¿Qué hora es? What time is it? How to ask for a schedule. ¿A qué hora es? So, for instance, ¿a qué hora es la fiesta? ¿A qué hora es la clase? And going on. And then the new words that we can add. I hope that you guys enjoyed this lesson, and I hope that now the time and the schedule is really clear. Nos vemos la próxima vez. Hasta pronto. Chao.